Fantasy sports in the hot seat. Lawmakers holding a hearing on the daily fantasy sports industry. They're looking into whether the websites offer illegal gambling. But get this, no one from either DraftKings or FanDuel are showing up on Capitol Hill. So what will actually get done? Joining us now is Lou Mayon, Chief Strategy Officer of Fantasy Sports Network. Good to have you this morning, Lou. You are adamant about the impact that this all is having on not just this business, but I mean the fantasy sports business in general.
Sure. I just think when you look at this, they're coming at it in such a way that scares me a bit, because these hearings are a waste of taxpayers' money. They're a waste of time as far as I'm concerned. If you want to do this from the federal level, that's fine, but it's state by state now. And this is going to take time and money, and it's going to hurt the small business owner, like the Fantasy Sports Network. I mean,
are they going to get anywhere with it?
Are they going to get anywhere with it today? No, in my opinion, absolutely not. I mean, like I said, it's a waste of time. We know what we need to do. We have to go state by state now. And at this point, it's too late. The federal law, 2006, we know what happened then. And I think these hearings, think about it. Jerry Jones isn't there from the Dallas Cowboys. Is he there? No. Is FanDuel and DraftKings there? No. Was I invited there? The CEO, the CSO of the Fantasy Sports Network, a 24-hour television network that is dedicated to fantasy sports fans around the world. I'm not there.
Yeah, and we have the list of witnesses that will be there. Fantasy Sports Trade Association, some university professors they're going to have on Fantasy Sports.
An academic paper.
CEO of Genius Sports. I can't tell you who exactly these people are.
This is like the symposium on race that they had on Veep a couple of episodes ago, where there was it was basically all white people at the symposium on race. It's the equivalent of that. Nobody from the actual industry.
Well, and doesn't the whole question turn on whether this is a game of skill or a game of chance, which to me seems completely arbitrary, but isn't that the basis of all these decisions?
100%. I mean, it is a game of skill. I mean, let's face it. You can't just, if I played you today, you would not beat me. I have experts.
I think I would.
You would never beat me.
I don't know. I'm pretty
99 out of 100 times, I have the experts.
Is that your only defense, though? Is that the proof?
No, it's not that. It's entertaining, right? It's when government gets involved and you overregulate, it hurts small business. And when you hurt small business and guys like me that have spent millions of dollars to bring the Fantasy Sports Network to life, people will lose their jobs. And if people lose their jobs, it's not good for America.
I want to go to our resident fantasy sports expert, Katherine Timpf, is here this morning. But no, seriously, Kat, a $26 billion industry. That's how much is expected to be spent on fantasy sports in the U.S. and Canada. I mean, this is a huge industry affecting a lot of people.
Does the government just sit around and say, okay, like, what looks fun? What looks like people are having fun, and maybe we can find something that's not okay about it? I agree that it's very skill involved. I wouldn't have no idea how to bet on anything. I would lose all my money, and that's why I don't. So I'm sure chance has something to do with it.
The two major operators, though, they stuck it to themselves, because what started all of this was one employee was gambling. Well, I use that term loosely, was playing on the opposing sports network and was winning money, and it looked like he was using inside information, and it blew up in their faces. And if they'd run the companies better, they would have never had government breathing down their necks.
But the market came in and regulated that. The news got out. Consumers cared. We talk about these businesses being unregulated. That's total bunk.
The state, that's to his point. The states are.
Yeah, but on a consumer basis, these things are absolutely regulated.
All right. Well, that hearing will be taking place later today, but no major representatives from the sports or fantasy sports
industry.
You
have Peter Schenke there from the FSTA, and chairman. I think he'll do a good job. So I'm hoping that things will work out for us.
All right.
But thank you.
Lou Mayon, thank you. Bringing your side of the story. And we have to mention 21st Century Fox, by the way, the parent company of this network, owns a stake of DraftKings. Coming up in the next hour of Mornings with Maria, so much. Forbes media chairman and former presidential candidate Steve Forbes weighs in on the election and who Donald Trump may pick as his VP. Keep it right.